Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video. I am bringing you 4 different looks with 4 different palettes. I have so many palettes that I'm still trying to test out before the year ends, so I thought it would be fun to do something similar to what Angie does on her channel, where she does 4 looks with 4 new release indie palettes. So the look that I have on today is the 4th look that you'll be seeing. This is with the Vamp palette from Bella Beauté Bar, but we also dig into the Harvest of Soul palettes from Fantasy Cosmetica, the Chicago Speakeasy palette, and the Robert Welsh Blend Bunny Divination palette. So if you are curious about what looks I created using those palettes, stay tuned. For if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project painting content, palette themed content, or just chit chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. Jumping on here really quick before we get into the 4 looks to say we're doing a giveaway in today's video. I recently hit 13K on my channel and I don't even remember if I did like a 10K giveaway. So I wanted to make sure we did a giveaway for this really exciting milestone. I know my daughter was rooting me along the whole way through. So I have 13 products that I'll be giving away for 13K. All you have to do to be entered into the giveaway is be a subscriber and leave me a comment either with your Instagram handle or your email address or some way that I can contact you if you are the winner. I don't want to drag this out too far, but I also kind of want to keep with the 13th theming, and I figured we could run this giveaway until December 13th. I know this time is like busy for many, so then it'll give, you know, people about a month to enter. Is that too long? Is that too long? But then I figured like I could mail everything out and it would arrive like right around the holiday time, so it might be like a gift. I think we're gonna do that. All of the information about the giveaway will be in the description box down below. I will announce the winner the morning of the 14th, and I'll announce it on my community tab and things like that. So what are the 13 products? What are the 13 products? I have, in no particular order, just in the way that they're sitting in front of me, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in Pinkgasm. I have one of my favorite fragrances for this time of year. It's from Ellis Brooklyn. It is the Apres fragrance. It is definitely more of like a piney fragrance, but I feel like it's perfect for this time of year. I also have from Kaja, I have this little set that has 3 full-size products. So it has a Jelly Charm lip and blush stain. It has the Beauty Bento Trio. I don't know what trio it is, but it also has the Cheeky Stamp blendable brush. And I actually do have a second set from Kaja. It is just 2 of the Beauty Bento trios. I love the Beauty Bentos, and I truly feel like everybody can get use out of the Beauty Bentos. Like I feel like they would work in every makeup collection. I have a couple of Alter Ego palettes. So I have the Dream Gaze as well as the Wild Wood palette. So the Dream Gaze is I can't even remember. The Wild Wood is the dupe to the Natasha Denona Yucca. Dream Gaze, I think, might be, is it the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette? Both are beautiful palettes, so I have those. I have a Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I also have the Tula Glow and Get It Cooling and Brightening Balm. And then I have 2 Glossier lip liners in the shades Hold and Grip. I also have one of my, if not my favorite makeup product of all time. We have the Lawless Beauty Forget the Filler. So I do have the little holiday trio that is currently out, but then I also wanted to include a full-size Lawless Forget the Filler just because I feel like the experience with the full size is completely different. So I have Cherry Vanilla in the full size. And then the 13th and final product is I want you guys to pick a palette either from Ensley Rain or Bella Beauté Bar that you want to try out. Those are my top 2 indie brands, and I thought it would be fun to ship out one of my favorite brands palettes to you. So once I reach out to the winner, I will find out which palette they're interested in receiving, and so it'll come in 2 separate boxes. Like you'll get these 12 products, and then I will just ship directly from the website for these whatever palette the winner decides. So again, all the information will be in the description box down below. Thank you guys as always for all of your support, and thank you so much for 13K. Next up, we're on our way to 15, right? We're on our way to 15, baby. But let's jump into the 4 looks that this video is truly about. All right, you guys, the palette that we are going to be playing around with today is the Harvest of Souls palette from Ensley Rain Cosmetics. This is what this looks like, and are we surprised that I want to play with the blues today? I have used all shades in this palette except for, well, I should say I've used all 8 shades up top, and then I've also used the shade Poison and a little bit of Obsession. Both looks that I've created using this palette, I've done kind of like a green and purple look. Both were, you know, Halloween spooky season sort of looks. But I absolutely am just so excited to play around with these blues today. So I think I'm really just going to keep it to this quad of shades, really just keep it simple. And I will say I have already primed and set my lids. So I used my NARS Smudge Proof, and then I just set using the lid setting shade out of my Persona Identity palette. So I'm going to start out by taking this matte shade right here. This is the shade Undead, and I am going to work this into my crease. Okay, I will say off the bat, it is not like the most pigmented shade, a little bit more buildable, which honestly, for me, sometimes the buildable the better, just because I can be super heavy-handed. Also, I hope that the lighting is okay. We are getting some pigment off that. I hope the lighting's okay. It's like 5 o'clock and it's dark here. But the Packers and the Lions are playing currently as I'm filming this. And as a diehard Vikings fan, I went into this game thinking that I wanted the Packers to win, which this would be the first time I've ever cheered for the Packers. I think literally ever in my life. But then I got to thinking and I was like, okay, this is for like the division, like whoever wins this game will be top of the division. So if the Packers lose, I believe would be in 2nd place, but if the Packers win, I believe we'd be in 3rd place. So I actually think I want the Packers to lose, which would be about in line with the norm for me, because I actually like don't really mind the Lions. It could be that the Lions have just not been good for so long. I know obviously they were very good last year, but I honestly was rooting for them last year. Like when the Vikings were not in the playoffs and stuff, I was definitely rooting for the Lions. I really like Dan Campbell, their head coach, which, by the way, if you don't follow football at all, thank you for listening to this quick sports monologue. I feel like we're doing a bit of a Lions-esque look here. I should have done something purple. I should have played with purples. I should have done a palette that I intended to play with purples. We could have done the Vamp palette. The Vikings are the Sunday night game. Oh my goodness. And we play the Colts tonight, so I'm doing a blue look. We're gonna have to wipe this off before the Vikings game begins. This is not okay. I will say I did just finish editing a Get Ready With Me Sephora like VIB sale Get Ready With Me, and we're having some technical difficulties, and I'm either going to have to refilm, like I'm definitely gonna have to scratch and either try again to edit and see if, like I was having some audio issues, but I think it's just the way that things sometimes upload onto my computer, or I might have to refilm, and honestly, it's just making me feel some kind of a way. Okay, I'm next going to go in. I do really like the way that that blended out. I feel like that's really pretty. I'm next gonna go into the shade this shade? This shade. I have no idea how to say that. But I'm gonna take that on the outer corner. And I will say I'm noticing some kick up with this shade, but no kick up at all with the lighter blue shade. And as I always say, kick up does not bother me. I always do my eyes first, or typically do my eyes first, just so I don't have to worry about, like I can be as messy as I possibly want and then I can clean it all up. But I am also noticing some fallout, just so you're aware. I also wasn't tapping my brush off and like being careful with it at all, so that is definitely something to consider. Then I'm just gonna go back into the shade Undead and use that to kind of seamlessly blend the edges. And if I need to continue to build up the blue, I will. I'll just kind of go back and forth. But I will say I really actually don't feel like the pigment's blending away at all. You know, sometimes when you're like trying to blend everything together, and then like the darker shade kind of just like blends away into nothing as you're like building everything up. I'm not really feeling like this is doing that much. I probably will still build at least one more layer, but I do feel like those are blending together quite nicely. We see all the fallout, right? So I'm kind of just going back in and just deepening this up. And then again, going back into Undead to blend everything together. I do really like the way that those two are blending together. It's kind of giving me like ocean water vibes. All right, I'm gonna clean up the edges quickly. Wow. Wow, okay. I'm going to need more than just a water wipe to clean this up. All right, so we partially cleaned that up. I'm like, still feel like we're looking a little bit blue underneath the eyes. But I am gonna take my NYX glitter glue and put that all over the lid. And then I think I'm actually just gonna use my finger for both shades. So I'm gonna take this shade right here. This is in the shade Immortality. And I'm gonna take that on the outer kind of half of my lid. I even might bring that in. Ooh, that is a very pretty shade. I feel like, ooh, that is so pretty. I'm bringing this in even just a little bit more, and then obviously we're gonna layer Souls on top, that other like very, very beautiful lighter blue shade. But I really like the shade Immortality. It is like almost like a shimmery cobalt blue, and I love a cobalt blue. Like that is so pretty. I feel like because it's so dark out, the lights are almost like washing this shade out. And I know we're looking still a little messy, but okay, turn the lights down a little bit so hopefully we can see a little bit better. But next I'm gonna take the shade Souls. I am so excited for this shade. We know how much I like a light blue sparkly shade. Oh, that is so pretty. And honestly, that with the shade Immortality, like those two together, oh, I just feel like complement each other so well. I honestly feel like I might like the shade Immortality even more than Souls. Oh, but both are stunning. Literally obsessed with both of those. Okay, I am going to probably do the rest of my face makeup, clean this up a little bit, and then I will be back to finish the look with you guys. Okay, the rest of my makeup is done. Admittedly, it's not my best look I've ever done, and I honestly was just kind of being really quick with it. I don't necessarily plan to film anymore tonight. I'm just really filming for this video, so I didn't really care about having like a flawless rest of my face. I didn't set underneath my eyes. I'm like, we're looking a little rough. For the waterline today, I'm gonna be using the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in Mainline, which is just a deep navy blue. On the inner corner, I honestly feel like the shade Souls is a little bit deeper than I really was anticipating. I think I'm gonna actually go in with a little bit more Souls and just bring that up a little bit more. There we go, we're opening up the eyes a little bit more. For the inner corner, I'm actually gonna go in with one of my, not something from that palette, but one of my favorite inner corner highlights, like one of my favorite blue inner corner highlights. It's Blue Sapphire out of the KVD Alchemist palette. I also feel like a matte white would be really pretty with this look, but Blue Sapphire just truly feels like what's appropriate. Then actually for the lower lash line, I think I'm going to try and take the shade Immortality and just kind of like push that into the lower lash line for something a little bit sparkly. And I feel like this is a risk because I'm like, I don't want to get sparkle like everywhere. Oh, definitely got some of that in the eye. That's okay though. I'm gonna finish it up with the mascara, and I'll be right back with the final look. All right, you guys, mascara is on, and as the Lions are winning, this feels like a very fitting look because this is very much giving Detroit Lions, but this is the final look using the Harvest of Soul palette from Fantasy Cosmetica, and I will say I am so pleased with this look. I'm really absolutely drooling over the blues. Like, for a blue look, I don't think I could ask for much more. I will say I think these might be some of my newest, like, favorite, like, true blue blues in my collection, especially the shade Immortality. Like, I am so in love with that for like a cobalt blue, and those two together, oh, I just think that is so freaking beautiful. For a blue lover, I am so into this look, but you guys will have to let me know what your thoughts are, and if you own this palette and what shades are your favorites. But let's get into the next. Good morning, you guys. Welcome to the second look in this video, and today I'm so excited. We are going to be reaching for the Robert Welsh Blend Bunny Divination eyeshadow palette. If you're looking for something colorful, I'm sorry, I'm gonna disappoint you today, but I want a mix of colorful looks in this video and neutrals, and I do work today, so I'm really gonna be sticking to this row right here. But even though it's not gonna be like a colorful look, I've swatched these two like shimmer shades. They look so beautiful. They look so beautiful. I don't yet have my Patrick Ta like duo that I ordered, but I feel like this shade right here, Rune, like, I feel like this is everything that we want those Patrick Ta duos to be. It just looks so sparkly, so fine and smooth, just like a glossy shadow. And I'm so excited to dig into this today. So I have already set my lids. I used my NARS Smudge Proof, and then I just set again using the Persona lid setting shade. So I am gonna keep it pretty like a basic brown look today, but I'm gonna start by taking the shade Fortune Cookie. What a fun name. And I'm just gonna blow that into the crease. Even though we're keeping it neutral today, I already feel like, because of how sparkly these shades are, I already feel like this look is gonna be like over the top for work. So I'm a little nervous about that. Not that I haven't shown up to work in, you know, honestly, like somewhat colorful and sparkly looks before, but I'm just so excited to be reaching for this eyeshadow palette. And this is the first look I will be creating using this palette. I feel like, I'm like, what did I do this weekend? Oh, that's right, I just purchased the Huda Icy Nude, and I did get ready with me with that palette. And I will say, sorry, I keep like digging into this just to build it up a little bit, but we can obviously build up with other looks as well. I will say this weekend I was kind of like down and out for the count. I didn't feel sick per se. I just felt like I literally had no energy whatsoever, which is pretty unlike me. Like, regardless of the amount of sleep that I get, I feel like I'm usually just like pushing through and going. But this weekend I was like, something feels off. I literally like did not have energy. So I did not film multiple looks this weekend like I feel like I had been all October. Maybe that's why I'm so exhausted, because I kept doing the most in October. Okay, I'm then gonna go into the shade Ouija, which is this shade right here. And I might, oh, my heat just came on. Ugh, I don't want to turn it off because it's like kind of cold today, but I know it's like loud and annoying. I will turn it off for now. Okay, I might just try and stick to these two mattes. We'll see where we get with these, just because I don't want to do something like too dark and dramatic for work. I've only ever used one other Blend Bunny palette. It was the Blend Bunny Surge, and I will say my experience with that palette was extremely positive. It's a very colorful palette, and I had so much fun with that palette. I love the Blend Bunny mattes. I just feel like they kind of blend themselves. I think a part of it is, and I'm noticing it too with this, is it's a bit more of like a buildable formula, so it's not so pigmented right off the bat. Although I will say in the Blend Bunny Surge palette, like the colorful shades, especially the neons, do really pack a punch. But I just feel like the mattes blend so well together. And I personally really like the way that Blend Bunny kind of lays their palettes out. Like, I like that I can just follow a row, and I'm gonna create a look that should be cohesive, and I don't really have to think about it. Sometimes I like that. not always the most creative person, especially when it comes to curating eyeshadow looks. Although I will say I've definitely had some fun stepping outside my comfort zone this year and just kind of doing what feels right in the moment. But I like something that's just curated and already just kind of put together for me that I don't really have to think about. I am going to dip into just a little bit of Zoltar, which is the deepest shade. Mostly I feel comfortable doing this. I mean, already probably this is enough for work, but also I feel like these shades have been buildable. So I feel like we can blend them out to be hopefully approachable for work. Although I'm like, girl, we always do this where we're like, oh, I'm gonna just keep adding, and then before you know it, it looks like we're ready to go out on a Friday night. And then I'm just gonna gradually but transition kind of shade by shade. So going back into Ouija here to kind of blend that out. Yep. I'm like, okay, work's just getting the most from me today in terms of my eyeshadow. But you know what? Makeup is fun and I don't think anyone's gonna judge me. And then I'll dip back into Fortune Cookie and just kind of blend that all together. I do feel like I'm getting a really beautiful kind of seamless blend from all of that. I obviously have some fallout as well. This is why I personally always do my eyeshadow first, because we can clean things up as we go along. So I'm taking my NYX glitter glue and I am going to take that along my lid. I'm gonna bring it pretty much out to the far corner because I do kind of want to go across my whole lid with shimmer, and I do have pretty deep set eyes, so I really do try and bring my shimmer up as well just to kind of tie the entire look together. But I'm actually going to step outside of this row for a moment and I'm going to go up here to the shade Superstitious, and I'm just going to use my finger and I'm going to use that in the very outer corner here. That is so pretty, and it does feel like a really nice soft shadow. It feels really nice and thin, like just such a smooth texture. Like it's not one of those super like chunky, like sticky metallics, but based on what I'm seeing here, we're still getting like a really good sparkle from that. Then I'm taking this shade right here. This is in the shade Paul, and I'm just gonna use my finger. And I'm going to take this kind of on the center of the lid and leave about 1/3 of my lid kind of open and just kind of barely tap that over where I had the shade Superstitious. And that is such a sparkly, beautiful shade as well. The sparkle from this, I'm just loving. Okay, and then finally we're going to take this shade right here. This is Rune. I'm so excited to put Rune on the eyes. Oh. This I feel like is like one of those like signature looks. Like I'm thinking of like my ABH Jackie palette and like the look that I just love to go into with that. Like this is not taking a lot of time, but it really just makes it look like you like, it's just like high glam. Again, this is gonna be a little intense to wear to work, but that's okay. But so easy to create, and I just feel like the sparkle just makes it like so pretty. Ugh, I really like those shimmers so much. Okay, I'm gonna go clean my makeup up. I'm gonna do my full face, and then we will come back to finish up the eye look together. All right, the rest of my makeup is done. We are just gonna finish out the eye look. And so for eyeliner, I'm just gonna go in with my Ilia eyeliner. This is in the shade Dust. It's just a dark brown. And then because I do work today, I'm gonna try, and yeah, we're looking a little extra for work. Why do I always have to have this stupid shadow right here? Anyway, I'm just gonna take Fortune Cookie along the lower lash line. So I do want something along the lower lash line, but I don't want it to be so dramatic. All right, and then for the inner corner, I'm actually gonna go in with the shade Crystal, which looks to be a white, like a sparkly white, but it looks like it has a bit of a golden shift to it. And there on the inner corner, it does look pretty white, which I'm actually okay with, like a sparkly white. I think that looks really pretty actually. Yes, I do like that. That definitely like opens up the eye a little bit too on the inner corner. Perfect, and then I'm just gonna add mascara and we will have a complete look. All right, mascara is on and this is the final look. I feel like I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Maybe we can see the sparkle a little bit more, hopefully. I don't know. Should I turn it down even more? Like that is so pretty, the sparkle. I am so pleased with this look. Like I said, I feel like it could be one of those like easy go-tos, especially if you have like an event or a night out or whatever it might be. I just feel like it's really sparkly, was so easy to create, and kind of is just like that timeless, sparkly, like more neutral yet glam eye, and I am absolutely here for it. I am definitely excited to play around with some of the other color in this eyeshadow palette, especially just considering how much fun this look was to create. I can't wait to see the sparkle and the shimmer and the shifts amongst the other shimmer shadows, but this is the look for today. Let's get into the third look using my third palette. Good morning, you guys. Before we start, please ignore this lovely situation atop my head. I dyed my hair last night, and you know, I'm honestly quite proud that it's only this messy as opposed to like splatters on my cheek. And then I am doing laundry right now, so if you do hear like a little bit of like jiggling, like wet jiggling in the background, I gotta get my laundry done. Okay, we are moving on to look number 3, and for look number 3, I am going to be digging into the Nomad Cosmetics Chicago Speakeasy palette. Let's see, we've done a blue look in this video and we've done a neutral look. I think I'm gonna dig into the purples and maybe do like a purple smoky eye. I'm excited to dig into this one, but a little bit nervous just because I haven't always had the best luck personally with Nomad Cosmetics. I have owned 3 palettes from them. I still own 2. I own the Okavango Safari palette and the Ghost Town palette. And I will just say I have quality issues amongst both. I just feel like their shadows sometimes are so firmly pressed that I don't get, like their mattes I don't love, and then also their shimmers at times. I don't think I've done, like I don't think I've used like a shifty shade from them before. I can think of like the Zebra Marbled shade, and then the Nomad shades are all like that really creamy molten metallic formula. So I'm excited to dig into this shade right here, which appears to be a shifty shadow, and see kind of how that performs. And overall, I'm just hoping that I can tuck that in. Just hoping that I have better luck with this palette. So I think I'm gonna start by digging into the shade The Violet Hour, the shade right here. And I'm just gonna start to work that into the crease. This appears to be, oh, I didn't set my lids. I'm gonna set my lids. Simply because I personally always set my lids, I am just gonna lay down my NARS Smudge Proof. You guys will have to let me know if you've tried the Sigma eyeshadow base. I think I want to try that one next. But let me know if you think it's any good. I'm also kind of interested in the one that Kelly Gooch talks about from the Ulta collection. That was in my cart the other day. I think I will actually. Maybe I'll get that one before I get the Sigma, because that one is much more inexpensive. All right, lids are set. We can get back to normal programming. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that second lightest shade in the palette, at least in terms of the purple shades, The Violet Hour. And I will say, actually, let me just not try and do 18 things at once. Personally, I will say already off to like a better start, at least with the mattes not being so firmly pressed, because I am getting a bit of kick up, which I know might not sound like a good thing to many, but for me, it tells me that these are not as firmly pressed as the shadows that I've used in the past from Nomad. And that is like really my biggest complaint, is that I just have felt like their shadows are much too firmly pressed. Kind of want to use a bit of a fluffier brush, and then I want to go back to that brush maybe with my deeper shades. So just switching brushes, but also just building that shade a little bit more. I actually think that's really pretty. It's not super dark, and I feel like that one blended quite nicely. I saw that Nomad is releasing a Polar Express palette, which I feel like I might have to pick up. I know I saw some blues in there, and we know how much I love a blue, so that is definitely on my radar. I'm not exactly sure when it launches. Perhaps it's already launched by the time that this video goes up. But you guys will have to let me know if you're planning to pick that one up, what your favorite Nomad palette is. I know I still kind of have my eye on the one that launched right before the Chicago Speakeasy, the one with the like reds, yellows, and blues. I feel like that one looked really, really beautiful. All right, next I'm gonna jump into the shade Blind Pig right here. One thing that I feel like Nomad always does do right is their theming, the way that they announce their palette. They always do like, I don't know if you'd say like a scavenger hunt, but they do like where they give like a clue and then you're supposed to obviously guess where the destination is. I think that the imprints in the palettes are so beautiful. Like the outer packaging of this palette is a really beautiful kind of velvet textured material, so I cannot fault them for that. Definitely one of the most innovative brands when it comes to the theming of their palettes. Noticing a little bit of powder kick up with this one as well, which again makes me happy because it tells me it's not as firmly pressed. And I do feel like those are layering nicely against one another, but I definitely feel like this is, I don't want to necessarily say more of a buildable formula, but I mean, I'm definitely layering it. Honestly, I'm okay with a buildable formula. That's one thing I love about Glaminatrix Cosmetics, is that they do have a more buildable formula. Just because I can be extremely heavy-handed at times and struggle to get a good blend going. So far with these two shades, I am much more pleased, I feel like, than I have been in the past. But again, we're only 2 shades in. And I do feel like those blended quite nicely together. We're starting to get like a good gradient. Nothing too deep so far. I am gonna go into Knock and Speak Easy right here. I'm definitely noticing a lot of kick up with this one and fallout, but I will say that is why I personally always do my eyes first. I don't always think to like tap my brush off either. I'm just like, there we go. Not always, I'm pretty sloppy when it comes to doing my eyeshadow, I would say. So it's just always a better situation for me if I start out doing my eyes. But there is quite a bit of kick up with this shade. Again, that does not bother me. I only point it out because I know some people really do not appreciate kick up. I'm gonna then just jump back into Blind Pig and use that to blend everything together. All right, there is one layer of Knock and Speak Easy. The one thing I will say is I feel like perhaps because it is so powdery, it's like one of those shadows that really almost blends away as you try and kind of blend the transition together, which can be a little frustrating. Okay, there's 2 layers, but I really tried to just blend the edge of that one. I think it's a really pretty like gradient in transition. But I want it to come up just a little bit more over here. I do feel like if I were to use that kind of middle, the second shade that I've been using, Blind Pig, I feel like it really would then blend this away really almost to nothing, and I could spend all day going back and forth with this one. I am just taking a little bit of Blind Pig kind of on the inner part here to make it a little bit deeper, but not trying to take it all the way out to blend that away into nothing. And then a little bit of Violet Hour. I don't know. Then I'm like, is it all just kind of becoming one blob of one color? Just kind of showing you again, there's one layer, obviously a lot of fallout, one layer where I did blend like over everything kind of, and again, it's just really all almost kind of blending. I don't want to, obviously like the goal is to get things to blend all as one, but I do like to have a bit of a gradient where you can kind of see where the depth builds. Okay, we're just gonna pause here. I'm gonna clean the sides up, and I am going to lay down a glitter glue, and we're gonna kind of like move on and see what happens when we add a shimmer. I will say it almost feels like they've overcorrected and now things are so powdery that they kind of blend away. I do actually want to take a little bit of the black. So the black is Capone down here. And I'm just gonna add a bit of black to the outer part, the very outer part of my lid. Just because I was going for something a bit more dramatic and smoky today. And then I'll dip back into Knock and Speakeasy to blend that out. All right, as per usual, I'm getting very mad because I feel like my eyes are just so, like, they're just not shaped the same, and it honestly annoys me so much, but we're gonna move on. All right, we're gonna take my NYX glitter glue and we're gonna put that all over the lid. And I will say, like, the black helped to build it up a bit, but I will say I do just feel like now, like, because the shades are so powdery, at least in this palette, they're just kind of almost, they're not completely blending away, but I feel like they're blending away more than they need to, so it requires more building if you are looking for depth. If you're looking for something a little bit softer, perhaps this would be fantastic, because I do feel like that's kind of what it's giving me until I built it, of course. Like, I don't think this is a soft look. Oh, I just wish my eye shape were the same. We're gonna let that go. I'm gonna dig into Aviation for the outer half of the lid, and then I'm gonna go into Chicago Fizz for the inner half. And I'm just gonna take my finger, because that's how I personally prefer to do my lid shades. So here is Aviation. And I will say right off the bat, I'm not like wowed. Like, it's not the most opaque thing. It's more of like a glittery situation. Maybe I just went in with like not the best expectation for that shade. I don't want to say I didn't have good expectations. My expectations were incorrect for what that shade was going to give me. I will say though, I feel like this would be a really pretty, not necessarily lid topper shade. Like, it's giving more than a lid topper. I guess it was just different than what I was expecting, but I do think it's a very pretty, like, sparkly purple. All right, then Chicago Fizz. Let's see what Chicago Fizz wants to do for us. That is the shifty shade, or the shade that looks to have a shift to it. And it almost looks like a taupey pink. I'm not wowed right off the bat by this look. I will say that. Like, I think it's pretty, but I'm like, this is not gonna turn into a favorite. Although I will say, when I decided to pick up this palette, I was almost kind of thinking like, this is, you know, a fun indie palette that almost is like everyday appropriate. And I say everyday appropriate like this because obviously everyday appropriate is gonna be different for everyone, but this is something that like I could easily reach for on a work day for something a little, you know, toned down and less dramatic. I'm not going to work today, in fact. This is not what I'm wearing to work. I'm gonna dip back into Aviation and add a little bit more of that. I think Aviation is really pretty. I think maybe if I had gone lighter and maybe not used that black on the outer part of my lid, I almost feel like I'd like Aviation better. I almost feel like we're not getting like the full effects from it because we do have like a deeper matte base situation happening. Like, I feel like this shade with like a lighter purple look would be so pretty. I feel like Aviation could be like become a favorite purple shade in my collection actually, which is saying something. So I've been quite harsh on Nomad palettes, but I do think that shade is pretty. Just going in with a little bit of that lightest shade, the Violet Hour, to kind of just blend out the top here. I don't know what I'm wanting, but I'm wanting a little bit more out of that. I'm actually gonna do my eyeliner now, and then I'll go do the rest of my makeup and I'll come back so we can finish together with mascara and the lower lash line. For my eyeliner today, I'm going to use the shade Goddess by Urban Decay. It's actually a deep navy that has a bit of a sparkle. I don't have a lot of purple shadows, or not purple shadows, purple eyeliners. So that is why I'm using a blue. Okay, I'm going to go do the rest of my makeup. I will be. All right, shall we finish off this eye look? I think I'm going to start out on the inner corner. And do I want to use a little bit of Gin Ricky? I don't feel like that is gonna tie the look together how I want. So I'm gonna take Chicago. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna, well, okay, let's see. If I do the Drifter, I'm gonna try the Drifter. I might regret this. It's not a matte white, but it is a lighter, like, pink, but I feel like that could go south. I think we're gonna take, well, hold on, let me do it on this side. Actually, I don't dislike that. I'm gonna try and take a little bit more of Chicago Fizz, and I'm just gonna try and bring that up my crease just a little bit. Just so everything, just to try and like open the eyes up a little bit more. Alrighty, I'm gonna add my mascara and then we will have a complete look. All right, you guys, mascara is on and this is the final look. I will turn my lights down a bit so you can hopefully see the sparkle a little bit better. Can you see it? I hope so. Anyway, this is going to be the final look for today. I will say I'm definitely more impressed with this than I have been. I think the other two palettes, there's some shades out of the Ghost Town that I really like, and then there's just some that just do not perform well at all. The one other thing I will say though about this is I do feel like maybe the intention behind this is to either not layer up as many shades, or maybe it's just, you know, meant to be a little bit softer of a palette. But for a Speakeasy palette, I feel like the whole purpose of a Speakeasy is dark and mysterious. I have used now these 6 shades as well as this shade right here. So planning to do something with these 6, and then we'll do something with the greens. And obviously I will come back at the end of the year to rank and review this palette. I am really, really pleased with the 2 like shimmer shades. I feel like the shade of Chicago Fizz is a really beautiful kind of shifty cool toned pink, which sometimes it's hard to find like a cooler toned pink. So I think like that with a cool tone, like possibly mixing this shade with like a matte base using like the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude would be really beautiful. And Aviation is something I can definitely see myself digging into to kind of pair with other palettes as well, because I think that's such a beautiful sparkly purple shade. Here we have look number 3. Let's move on to look number 4. We are going to be using the Bella Beauté Bar Vamp palette. Good morning, you guys. We are going to jump into our 4th and final palette for this video, and we are going to be playing around with the Bella Beauté Bar Vamp palette. This is such a stunning palette, and I will say that when this first launched, I knew I was gonna buy it regardless because I like to purchase all Bella Beauté Bar palettes, but I was like, I don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of like this top row of shades and this shade right here. I have already done a look using those shades that I was so in love with, and it really does make me want to play around with reds more often. However, I am still trying to complete my testing process for this palette, so I would like to do a look today using shades that I have yet to use. And a part of me was thinking like I should dig into the purples because we've already done a blue look, but we did a purple look yesterday, and you guys know I love blue so much, it would feel wrong to not use the blues. I'm so excited for the shade Claudia right here. Like, that just looks so pretty. Also, Skin of a Killer, Hope Mess Tom. Oh, they have done just some beautiful Instagram posts with that shade, and I am just so excited about it. I don't know if swatching Skin of a Killer on my finger is gonna like do justice to like what this shade really is. It like really does have like the most transparent base, but then is just such a sparkly shadow. I'm gonna quickly swatch. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm swatching Claudia here, and it's like a little bit drier as I swatched it out. It's almost like a chunkier glitter. Interesting. Okay, what I'm thinking is I think I'm gonna use these two shades to build up like my lid, and then I might use this on the lower lash line. I'm a little bit nervous for how deep is this Coffin shade gonna be. I'm gonna start out with Coffin, which is that gray. I have already primed and set my lids. We're gonna start with Coffin. I am a bit nervous just because it looks like more of like a mid-toned gray, and I don't necessarily want like a dark gray in my crease. But I guess I could then use Ethereal, which is that lighter blue, to kind of blend out at the top. Although Ethereal also looks like it could be more of like a mid-toned blue. Okay, nothing too crazy scary right off the bat. I can tell this is gonna build to be, like we can build this to be deeper though, so. Do I feel like that's blending slightly patchy? I'm gonna take a different brush really quick. I feel like maybe it's, could be the brush? I don't know. Could be me being hesitant to blend this to get it to be too deep. Maybe not, maybe not. Maybe I am just jumping the gun. I do want to take, oh, I want a really fluffy brush. Let's see. I do want to take just a little bit of Ethereal, which is that blue, and just take that just a wee bit on like the top edge here. Okay, that is just the smallest amount, and I don't even know if you can tell. Ooh, this is also a very firmly pressed shade. Like I'm noticing kick up with Coffin. I'm noticing like no kick up with the shade Ethereal, which actually maybe it looks like mid-toned in the pan, but maybe it truly is supposed to be like a lighter shade, seeing as the name is Ethereal. Okay, now I am seeing it's adding a bit of a light blue to that, which I actually kind of like that layered over top of the gray. I'm not much of like a gray person. I love a blue, so this kind of, I feel like ties everything together. It kind of looks like a stormy night. Okay, we're gonna do the same to the other eye. I know I complain all the time about how my like eye shape is different. Like I hate pointing this out because I know I see it, but I see me every day, and like if I didn't point it out, maybe you wouldn't see it. But this lid, like more of this lid shows than this lid. So anyway, I felt like the brows also might be playing a factor into it. So I almost said shaved my brows yesterday. I didn't shave my brows, but I definitely was plucking away at them yesterday to try and like maybe get a more even brow. I don't know if I was successful at all. Who do the Vikings play today? Hey Siri, who do the Minnesota Vikings play today? Just want to make sure it's not a team.
The Vikings play the Jaguars today at noon.
Of course it would be a team that has blue colors. Why do I always do this? Because clearly the color of eyeshadow that I have on affects the outcome of the game. But I always feel like I am filming these looks on Vikings game day and I'm not doing purple looks. Shame on me. Okay. I also feel like as I've like edited back footage for specifically this video, I'll like notice as I'm editing back things that I'm like, girl, why aren't we like doing this with our blend? Why aren't we doing this? So I'm trying to, it just, you know, the perspective you get when you're editing sometimes. I really do like the way that the like ethereal blue and the gray kind of merged together, meshed together as one though. I think that's really pretty, but I'm someone who likes more of a blue. So just keep in mind, this is what happens when you layer those two. Especially if you're someone who's trying to get more out of like the gray. Okay, I'm gonna take Lestat. I have read Dracula before. I'm like, am I saying that correctly? I'm gonna take that deep navy blue that looks so pretty. Do I wanna do tape? I feel like maybe I wanna do tape on my eyes. Hold the phone. Okay, then inevitably I'm like, always feel like too, is this going, I mean, my temple's here. My temple is, okay, we're gonna roll with the punches. Hopefully it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna take, now I can at least be a little bit sloppier. I'm gonna take that deep navy blue. Oh my gosh, is my daughter up already? Jeez Louise, it's only 7:18, girly. Are you up? I am like feeling like I'm having to layer this a bit. I am glad that I put that tape down. Oh, and I should do this so I can see where my lids meet. Really trying to nail it. Really trying to just be the best. Yeah, I'm not the best at all. But I do really kind of want to get a bit of a wing going with, not like a wing, but like kind of with that navy blue. I also feel like on this eye, I can get more of like an actual wing with shadow like this. Whereas this eye, the way that things fold on each other, it's just like, you know, sometimes. Okay, then I've canceled out my wing completely, I feel like. Anyway, I need to stop complaining. I'm gonna go back in and I'm just gonna actually mix Coffin and Ethereal together, like just dipping into both to try and blend those two out. And I do feel like that navy did take some building, but it is really pretty once I like built it up to what I wanted it to be. And keep in mind, we'll be doing all the shimmers on the lid, so it doesn't have to be the most perfect on the actual lid. Okay, we're really going for like a sharp wing here. Okay, I do feel like that did not take a lot of effort to blend. Like I said, it just took a little bit of building. I'm worried I'm not gonna get like a match on the other eye. But I like how it looks on this eye. Here's me looking straight ahead. Do I need to maybe add just a little bit more up here? After this, we are going to Panera to get smoothies. This is going to be a lot for the Panera crew to be seeing at 8 in the morning. All right, I'm scared for this eye because I want it to be like even, and it never is. There's just like more nooks and crannies, I swear, in this eye. I'm already annoyed. It's just like almost like this brow, like the brow bone. Ugh. Anyway, dipping back into blend and just we're rolling with the punches here. That's just like such a bummer because it looks like, I feel like so nice on this side and I'm just not even, and it's really frustrating. Okay, we're just gonna have to roll with it and we're gonna have to say that this is good enough. This is about as good as it's gonna get. Putting my glitter glue on. All right. Okay, the glitter glue has been laid. I am now gonna go in with Claudia, this shade right here, and I'm gonna take that on the outer part of my lid. Oh my gosh, these are like the blues that I dream of. Wow, that is absolutely stunning. I'm loving that so much. I think I'm gonna take it all the way into, I'm just gonna leave about 1/3 of the inner corner. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, this is why I love blue literally so much. I'm also feeling like I need like a little bit more on the edge here. Okay, same thing. Other eye. Oh my goodness. I'm literally drooling. This is gonna be a new favorite blue in my collection. I feel like I say that about every blue just because I love blue so much, but like, OMG. All right, and then we're gonna take, okay, hold on. I wanna swatch Daylight Ring. Is this just like a pure silver? There is Daylight Ring. No, that definitely has like a blue shiftiness to it. There's Undead. Okay, we're definitely taking, or Skin of a Killer. Okay, hold on. No, I feel like those will transition to each other quite nicely. And then I could possibly take Skin of a Killer on top. What do I do? I think I'm gonna take Daylight Ring. I'm gonna take Daylight Ring on the inner little bit here. Wow.
Can you hear it?
Okay, that is absolutely stunning. Oh my goodness, for a blue lover, this is making me happy. I'm so glad I went with blue this morning rather than doing purple. Sorry, Minnesota Vikings. At least, like, this is not the color of Jaguars. The Jaguars. The football team. Also, we really should win today because the Jaguars just are not that good this year. Oh my goodness. The high school that I went to, their colors were blue and silver. I feel like if I was in high school still there now, this is something I would wear to like a hockey game. Okay, I'm gonna clean things up. Actually, I'm gonna do my eyeliner. I saw Hope Miss Tom the other day do their eyeliner before they went in with the rest of their makeup, and I was like, I think I might start doing that. Look how we gotta wash the hands. Okay, I am taking again Goddess from Urban Decay, which is that kind of like metallic blue. I feel like this eyeliner was made for this look. Okay. Then I'm going to remove the tape. There we go. And then we'll clean things up. And I'll see you guys in a moment with a full face of makeup. All right, you guys, makeup is done. We just have the lower lash and inner corner. And I think for the inner corner, it would feel wrong to do anything but Blue Sapphire out of my KVD Alchemist palette. Unless, okay, hold on. Let's see what happens if I take Skin of a Killer. I just don't feel like this is like the inner corner highlight. Oh, maybe it is. Okay, maybe it actually is. That's really pretty. Oh yeah. Okay, eating my words. That is extremely beautiful. All right, and then for the lower lash line, I think I'm just gonna smudge Ethereal out. Actually, I might, let's see, I might take a little bit of that really dark blue on like a liner brush. And I'm just gonna stamp that on like the outer fourth, just so that when I blend Ethereal then, we'll blend a little bit of that. Okay, and then taking Ethereal and just taking that along the lower lash. Okay, I wanna take Skin of a Killer down just a little bit more on the lower lash, just for fun. And then I will just add mascara. And we will have a final look and an end to the video. All right, you guys, mascara is on, and this is the fourth and final look. I am gonna turn the lights down a bit. I am so pleased with this. I think this is so stunning. Like, we have some new favorite blues in my collection. Yeah, I love this so much, but you guys have to let me know out of the 4 looks or the 4 palettes, which was your favorite look? Which palette are you most excited about? Do you own any of these palettes, and what looks are you creating? What color combinations are you guys doing? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Other than that, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch. Let me know what 4 palettes you'd be curious to see in the next video, whether they have been palettes that have released already or if they are palettes that are coming out. I know I am really excited to pick up that Polar Express palette from Nomad. I've seen like the full palette now and it looks so stunning, speaking of blues. So let me know what palettes you're interested in seeing looks with next. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.